the only independent voice of
This collaborative
Liberia.
policy. So I
No
supported Joseph
allegiance to
Waka,
any political
knowing
party,
that by 2023
organization,
you'll be tired.
institution, or individual.
Okay.
Freedom FM
Knowing that
87.9,
you'll be
your
tired.
best
You have a good
choice.
heart, good everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him paper. Every day I gotta buy a paper. There's a man who bought me paper before. I'm buying paper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he said, he said, when you win, you run for one term. He said it. I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest, find somebody else.
I would not know if it's wrong, but one thing that I was not able to accomplish that I wanted to accomplish was after the war, the Liberian people elected me. And in fact, the Liberian people elected me to unite the country. I was not able to get some of the other factional leaders to return to Liberia. I was not able to get one or two of the political leaders to return. And I think they helped to provoke the situation. I was able to do a whole lot. Strangely, the LPC, these were all warring factions, and all of the other warring factions, I was able to bring them into government. In fact, most of the combatants that fought for the government during the war were the combatants of the warring factions that fought against me. So I accomplished bringing them together. I accomplished making sure that the issue of tribalism went away in Liberia. But I mean, to a great extent, I think most Liberians now, if you went to Liberia and took a poll, they would say Mr. Taylor did his best.
Any other regrets?
The second regret is that I was never able to get the United States to understand me. I was never able to get them to work with me, which is so essential for Liberia. No president of Liberia, no president can make it successfully unless he is online with Washington. Now, I'm not the type of guy that you can pick up a telephone and command. I don't take that. I didn't take that from Washington. Then, even if I were elected president, I would not take it. I'm not that kind. I'm not a coward. But I do believe that a good working relationship is essential for any president of Liberia, or that president will fail.
I'm filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander in chief.
When you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices? Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
in May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders. Number 1-3, courts seal indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brendan Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and now prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra. Spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change in Liberia and what needed to happen to solidify that process. There was little mention, if any, in his testimony about Sierra Leone. And here is what he said. I posted that 5 years from now, when the international community is challenged by other crises, Taylor in Calabar are not of the rim of possibilities. He then asked, your nation was spared from threats and intimidation as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful Western leaders.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop slipping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said, the people who are so, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they can lie. I said, we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that.
And as usual, usually on the Thursday edition of the show, we exhaust a long list of issues to climax the week. And so this is going to be the same pattern tonight. Just a lot to talk about, folks. And we have to do this within the space of 1 hour 45 minutes. Let me say a very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those of you in the diaspora. Our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics. And even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them, it's good to have all of you joining us tonight. It's October now in the city of Monrovia, the Republic of Liberia. And like we say, a lot to talk about. Remember that the seditions and reactions are in high gear for next week, Friday. Next week, Friday, is the official launch, the official groundbreaking ceremony to begin the construction of the CDC's headquarters in the country. I'm told the different paraphernalias are being developed as a means of cheering out their supporters in the different communities. I don't know most of the vendors who are doing t-shirts and caps on their own, but we have to indicate that the party as an institution has asked us to announce that it is not printing t-shirt. It is not doing any party paraphernalia on sale. So nobody should go in the community and say, oh, the CDC is printing t-shirt and selling it. Oh, the party is printing face caps and selling the caps. The leadership has asked me to announce that anywhere you see CDC material for sale, it is their will. The party is not going to stop people from selling party materials once it is not under the authorization of the party. We thought to start on that note. This whole thing about Project TEF, where the Unity Party folks continue to claim glory for projects that they did not initiate, and every time they praise one project, those who were in those sectors under the CDC government who come out to provide the necessary clarity. This is the case with the ongoing expansion, electrification of 3 counties capitals in the southeast: Bagleyville, Greenville, and Buchanan cities. When we criticize the output from the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, some say, oh, you guys are only saying this because you all are supporting George Weah. You are not supporting the government. A representative expiring